Today we are going to talk about Bob the Sports and Good, specifically the trajectories they're on, things that have happened recently, some struggles they are facing, and I'm going to be looking at this objectively. What I try to do with the YouTube golf space as a commentator, as really trying to be like the sports center in some way of YouTube golf, is I evaluate videos like you would a pro golfer's performance. And so we're going to do that. We're going to use some statistics today, and we're going to talk about some stuff. Welcome back to the channel. Anyone complaining about the Christmas tree in yesterday's video? I can't believe you think, number one, this is early. We're basically in December. It's after Thanksgiving. And number two, let me tell you, if they sold real Christmas trees like 3 weeks ago where I live, it would have been up 3 weeks ago. If they sold it on November 1st, it would have been up November 1st. I'm a November 1st Christmas guy, so let's just put that out there right now. If you don't like that, you can go away, because that's the reality. Hit that subscribe button. Right before we get into today's content, we are giving away a pair of the lovely, the wonderful, the high quality Goat Lane golf shoes. You guys comment all the time about how much you want a pair of these, how awesome they are for those of you who have them. I truly love them. This is the second volume of the signature Grant Horvath collab, but you're going to be able to select whatever pair you want off their website. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel before the end of the week, and I'm going to pick a random winner. So hit that button. All right, jumping right into it today. I've seen quite a few comments of this nature. I've seen comments about Bob the Sports, and I've seen comments about Good recently about content and things that they're doing and not doing. And yesterday specifically, I talked about the Jamie video, and there were lots of comments in my comment section saying that people didn't really enjoy that video as much, or it wasn't as natural and felt more whatever. So I want to give my perspective on what I think these guys are going through. Bob the Sports and Good are a really good comparison on a lot of levels, because they are a group-based channel. The challenges you're going to face as any creator are coming up with new and original content, but especially when you have, kind of a format already built in-house, how do you keep evolving on that? How do you keep it interesting? How do you keep changing it up, keeping it fresh, and bringing new ideas to light? That's a huge struggle that these channels face. If we look at the numbers, as far as people who are saying, oh, what's happening, both these channels are doing quite well. So if we first take a look here at Bob Does Sports, we see over the last 30 days, they're down about 37.5% in subscribers for a monthly growth of 15,000, and then about 4.5 million views for the last 30 days, which is about 36% down from their average. We pull over here to the graphs. This is basically since the beginning of the channel till now. We see a really nice solid hockey stick growth for Bob Does Sports as far as monthly views. They're gaining monthly video views. It's been pretty consistent, and right now, even though it's a slight lull from where it was in July, it's higher than it was at any other point in their growth. The monthly subscribers, they are up and down, but those, I think, with these bigger channels usually come more from collaborative style things. We can flip over to Good, and we see similar kind of things. They're down about 50% in their monthly subscribers for 10,000 in the last 30 days, but they're still pulling over 8.5 million views in the last 30 days, which is down 14.5%, but still pretty on par for where they'd usually be. The graphs here are a little more interesting. Their monthly video views are definitely up and down. We see that huge spike from the hole-in-one, and then the subsequent videos that follow that, they had a couple of near million view bangers. The slight dip off recently, I think a lot of that is due to Thanksgiving. The subscriber gain, we had a huge influx in September 22, which I believe is when the initial Rick Shields collab came out. One thing you have to think about for these channels is when you're this big, and we talked about this with Rick Shields, in order to have massive subscriber gain, you really do have to almost create new followers. These guys, especially Good, has really reached kind of everyone, almost the most amount of people in YouTube golf, and especially because on their main channel they don't do instructional based content. Their pool to draw from is smaller than Rick's. Rick Shields has not only golf entertainment through playing, which Good is in the space of, but he also has historically teaching instructional content that's still on his channel, that still pulls people in. People go to watch. Anyone who knows or has ever watched a YouTube golf video how to, they definitely know who Rick Shields is, right? He's one of those guys on top of being a player. And then he also has other collaborative style content, lots going on there, really big pool. Good, slightly smaller pool focused on the playing, and then Bob Does Sports, an even slightly smaller pool because they're not a good golf brand. They are more of an entertaining golf brand. So I think you always have to look at these things with a grain of salt, but I think part of what happens when you get to the size that these guys are is that you're always going to have an audience. You're always going to have a base. These guys have developed super strong cores, and the problems they are facing are not unique to them. They really aren't. I think there's a couple things going on right now. I've noticed the space in general is in just a bit of a lull. I think less people are playing golf, obviously, because it's starting to be winter in most parts of the world. So there's probably less interest generally in YouTube golf when there's less interest in playing golf outside. If you're not doing it yourself, you're less interested in watching it. There's less professional golf on TV, so therefore there's just, again, a little less hype and buzz around golf in general. And then also we have the holidays coming up. People were away, people were with their family, people are doing stuff. You see so many creators, all the big ones, have posted videos, have changed thumbnails, have changed titles, have tried to make things work. Like, videos across the platform, speaking for myself as well, are doing a little worse on average than they were, say, a month ago. So I think that's a long way of saying I think a lot of the concerns around whether it be Good, whether it be Bob to Sports, whether it be Rick Shields, which we talked about on our channel, like those three guys being the biggest in the space, like they're not facing any type of negative challenge, but they are constantly facing the challenge of innovation. That is really what it takes to stay up there. They've gotten up to the top because they've all brought something unique to the table. They've all done something. They've all reinvented some form of the space. That's the only way you can acquire such a large audience and such a large fan base. But it's very, very, very easy to fall out of relevancy in the YouTube world. Like, you see channels all over the place with, like, there's an old gaming channel I follow. This might click for some of you guys, but his name's White Boy 7th Street. And I remember when I was watching him back in high school, he has like 2.5 million subscribers right now, but he gets like 4,000 views a video. Back in the day, it was like hundreds of thousands, millions of views. And like, if you as a creator stop innovating, stop creating, whatever, the relevancy does start to fall. And so that's something that's sitting on these guys' backs all the time. But the thing for me, and why this doesn't phase me at all, like any type of like up or down with these guys, is that, like, number one, they've all gotten here for a reason. They've all done something unique and something really powerful in the past. There's absolutely nothing stopping them from doing it again. Number two, they all have massive teams behind them. Good is a massive entity. Bob Does Sports, also a massive creative entity. They have big media companies that back them. Like, there's a lot of, you know, help and support and collaborative opportunities and ideas and all these other things that get flushed out. And the third thing is that these guys still have massive banger videos all coming out, you know, here, there, and the end. Like, Good makes a hole-in-one on a par 4, boom, 1.3 million views. The two subsequent videos, that Fortnite video, I was so surprised that got over or almost 1 million views. Like, that's crazy. Like, they're definitely still crushing it here and there. I think for sure these channels do run into the issues of, again, that reoccurring in-house content. How do we spice that up? How do we keep that interesting? But at the same time, like, I tell this to YouTubers all the time, and like, I try to remind myself of this, like, there's always going to be content also that's like just for your core, right? Like, if there's a really big, I'll use myself for an example here. If there's like a really big in-your-face news story that everyone in YouTube Golf is interested in, then obviously I'm going to make a video about it and it's going to get a bunch of views. I could see up to 100,000 views on a video. I have in the past. But if it's not a super widespread, you know, viral type moment in YouTube Golf, and I make a video about it, then likely it's going to be a much smaller pool, much more my core. But my core is you guys who show up every single day and who want to hear me talk and break down the YouTube Golf news and appreciate what we do here, and you're here day in and day out. And it's important to keep making content for that core. You're not just gonna like only post a video when you think you have this. I mean, some people do, but in general, especially in YouTube Golf, most creators try to post at least once a week, I'd say, if not more. And that's to keep your core engaged. Like, there are hundreds, thousands of people for each of these channels, these big channels we're talking about, that would literally watch like anything they post, right? That's the other thing you have to remember is like all these comments you're seeing and I'm talking about, like, it's a very small percentage and it's definitely not their core. Like, there's hundreds of thousands of people that will tune in to every single Bob to Sports or every single good video no matter what. And those are the people sometimes you're making content for. It's not necessarily always going to hit to that bigger, wider pool. So at the end of the day, do I think there's a problem or struggle that good Bob to Sports, Rick Shields, they're all facing? Absolutely. But do I think that's unique to this current moment based off analytics? No. I think that's just the reality of the space. And I don't know, I go into this nerdy stuff sometimes because I know you guys aren't as into YouTube and YouTube analytics as I am, and this is kind of what I do. So I hope this sheds a bit of light on it for you, for those of you who might have questions about channel trends and how channels are growing. When they've gotten this big, there's a reason why they have, and I believe they will continue to stay there, and they will continue to innovate, and they will continue to make awesome videos, both for their core and also ones that every once in a while reach out, 1 million+ view bangers. That's it. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. See you.